Hey guys, thought I'd do a follow-up garden tour of what's been going on in the garden. I think I posted my last video a couple months ago, and since then a lot has happened. So let's begin. This is the archway that I had said that I planted Chinese long beans, and as you can see here, we've got some really beautiful Chinese long beans hanging. I'll probably harvest some and chop them up, and we'll eat them with the meal tonight. And so that's gonna hopefully continue to grow well into fall. We've got our very wonderful volunteer sunflowers. There's one there, there's one over here, and lots and lots of marigolds growing. And this bronze fennel is now starting to go to seed, and just so many marigolds. And I love to let this Queen Anne's lace grow, and it makes a good filler for bouquets and things like that. The squash bugs have really destroyed much of the squash, which I'll show you in a minute. But I do have this zucchini plant hiding over here, so hopefully I'll get a couple more zucchini off of that. We turn over here, this is my overgrown, crazy tomato area, and this is a ginormous thing of basil, which I've been using all summer. And then I've got these very tall variety of marigolds that are basically that whole row here. Let me just back away over here. So I made a mistake in that I planted my tomatoes too close, and then I planted a variety that I was unfamiliar with, and it was very, very viney and has really taken over. So I'm gonna save seeds from that and do something different next year. But by far my favorite variety that I'm growing are these mushroom basket, and they kind of look like an accordion variety. You can look up accordion tomato. They're extremely productive. I do have them staked as best I can. There's just so many in here, and what I've been doing is as soon as they're ripe, I chop up a few, I roast them with garlic and maybe some onions. I roast it for about an hour, and then I turn it into soup. And so I am filling the freezer, the deep freeze, with quarts of tomato soup that we will pull out all winter long. So the variety that has gone really insane are these spoon tomatoes. They're totally adorable. You can come out here, harvest a handful, throw them in a salad. It's great. I mean, they're really fun, but they're just insane, and I just can't seem to get a handle on them, and they've kind of grown all over the top here. And then I've got the Sart Roulois that I really have so many of these, and if somebody comes by our farm, I will be passing them on to you. So lots of Sart Roulois in here. I'm gonna bring some to church and share those with everybody. And so the tomato just goes on and on. There's this row, and there's a sunflower stuck in there somewhere. It's just crazy. So, okay, tomatoes everywhere. And those will continue to produce probably well into end of September, maybe even October, depending on how the weather goes. Usually if I know a frost is coming, we come out and we harvest everything that we can, and then we just let them ripen inside in the window. Okay, the corn. We actually did a first harvest of our gem corn, and it was really, really pretty. It's a decorative glass corn, and there's a few more ears left, and I'm gonna be grabbing those and making some really pretty fall decorations with that. It can also be eaten as popcorn. Again, with these squash bugs, this is what's left of a squash plant. I doubt it'll produce anything, and that's really sad. My cut flower garden is really, really overgrown at this point, and I was trying to keep up. We've got a pretty little butterfly there. Anyway, I was trying to keep up, and it just got to be really difficult, and I'm still coming out here and cutting flowers, so that's really the point of it, is that I have cut flowers. And this path kind of became overgrown. And then I have, I dumped some extra seeds, zinnia seeds down here, and here I've got a whole other area. And it just brings a lot of really pretty butterflies to the garden, and I come out here and I cut a bouquet, usually for the weekend. There's another one with a little butterfly. Okay, so we're gonna come back up this path, and that's where we were, that path. Okay, so here we have a mound of weeds because my daughter and I were out here working this past week, and this was my hugel mound that had 2 plants of butternut squash that went absolutely insane. We've the vine borers and squash bugs got to it, mostly vine borers this year. And I tell you, I have consulted professional gardeners. I have looked online. I do not know how to get rid of these bugs without using pesticides, which I just really don't want to use. So, you know, I've probably got about 15 or 20 butternut squash off these 2 plants. We're just kind of trying to let these last few ripen, and we've already brought a bunch in, and we will probably start making some soup out of that and can it for the winter. And the thing about growing your own food is that you really have to be ready to have a big crop and to be ready to preserve it in some way. And so canning is one of the ways we preserve. Freezing is another way. And then, you know, sometimes I just give stuff away. So I have a celery plant that I just realized I've never harvested. So this is celery. I should come out and get some of that when I make more tomato soup. Oh my gosh, just moving those leaves, I'm smelling the celery. It smells great. Okay, so we come over here. This right here was where I had a cucumber plant, and I had another one over there. Those are both gone. We made, I don't know how many quart jars of pickles, and we just ate the rest, and we fed some to our animals, and that was fun. But again, those squash bugs got to it. And if you don't know what squash bugs are, I will show you. This is my daughter Madeline's, we call it her potager, and basically she just plants a bunch of different things in there. And right now the morning glories have kind of taken over, these gorgeous blue morning glory flowers. But these are squash bugs. You see them? Yeah, so gross. And this is what they do to the plant. And it's just so sad. This was an acorn squash that she was really excited about getting some of. And we were out here spraying with neem oil, with, you know, making our own insecticidal soap. And we just have not been able to deter these bugs. So it's really sad. Her okra is doing absolutely great. You can see those giant okra on there. And so I'll probably, maybe make some gumbo or something. I don't know. Kind of a little nod to our French roots here in Old Missouri. This is my brooder coop, which, so I have a hen that's gone broody, so I've been cleaning that up. Again, this is just a coop I threw together a couple years ago from pallets and just wood lying around, and then put some hardware cloth on it so the predators couldn't get in, and boom, we have a safe spot. I had quail in it for a while, and I realized I wasn't liking quail because they only lay half the year. And so I am airing it out. I'm going to be adding fresh shavings and sticking my broody hen in there so she can raise her babies without being bothered. And when they get big enough, then they'll get to go to the grown-up coop. Okay, so around we go. This is a potato area, and I've got lots of potato vines that are coming up, and we just basically keep burying it with manure and dirt and stuff. And then right before the first frost, we'll come out here with pitchforks and dig up all those potatoes, and we'll have potatoes. I threw some cosmos in here. That's what these are, cosmos. They're really a lovely flower. This is actually a mixture of a volunteer bean plant and some morning glory. And I don't see any actual beans on this plant yet, but we'll see what it does. And so this again is the other end of the potato mess. There is actually a basil plant in there somewhere. This is a leftover vine from a lemon cucumber, which again, you can see the bugs have gotten to. And Madeline and I have been coming out here. I kind of cleared a path and remulched and, you know, trying to get into, sort of wade into the tomato area. Here's some more sartrelois growing in there. So, I mean, messy gardens will still grow food, guys. And I'm a very busy lady. And, you know, I just can't be out here every day working. And I think there will be a time when I will be able to put more time and effort into it, but now is not that time. So if I back up, you can kind of get the overview. There's the arch with the Chinese long beans. And if I turn this way, this area right here, we've had a tarp over, and we're gonna be cleaning that up and basically prepping a bed for fall food. And the kind of food we like to grow in the fall are various kinds of lettuce. I love collard greens. They get real sweet when the weather turns chilly, and we like to harvest that and saute that up with some garlic and some salt and olive oil. It's so good. And radishes, onions. I'll plant garlic in the fall to be harvested the following spring. And just walking back over to the potager, there's another potato patch under there somewhere we're gonna deal with. This is our manure pile from our goats, and we use the manure to fertilize the garden. There's our goats. Hey, sweeties. This one, this breed is a Nubian. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of Nubians. They're a goat originally from Africa. This is Barnaby. He's so sweet. Yeah. And that is Beatrice, and that is Bonnie. And this is their little enclosure. And then Madeline will come out and let them out, and they will free range a little bit, which is really fun for them. So anyway, we're in August now. The weeds are pretty bad. We've had bouts of very hot weather where I literally could not get out here and weed at all. It just was way too hot. And then torrential rain. So that combination is it means I don't have to water the garden. Here, some zinnia seeds that I just threw on the ground. These are pepper plants, and I have harvested some really nice peppers from these, but I don't see any right now. And we've got some eggplant still in here. There's a little one growing. And I am allergic to eggplant, but we have people in the family who can eat it. And then this area had onions in it and nasturtium. There's some leftover nasturtium right here, which is an edible flowering plant. You can eat the flowers and the leaves, and it grows wild in some areas of the world, but it is completely edible and great. And then so this might be another bed that I'll put a bunch of lettuce in. It's cleared, and for the most part, and manure is down waiting to be harvested. So over here, it's very, very overgrown. This is where I had lettuce and stuff, and it's all gone to seed, and so I'll be collecting those seeds and then planting that somewhere else. And something got to my cabbages. It happens. Anyway, very messy garden that is still growing food. And then beyond in the distance there in the pasture are the horses. So there's a little garden tour for you guys, a little bit longer this time. Happy gardening. Bye.